Do you remember when Microsoft introduced achievements? Most people scoffed at the idea. It really didn't mean anything. But then Sony adopted trophies. Or how about the time that Microsoft and Xbox created Xbox Live, an online infrastructure to play with your friends on console? All of a sudden, you had PSN. Or how about the time that Microsoft decided to charge for online play? And this isn't a knock, this is just an example of things that they've done. And then Sony had to respond because they became so big that they couldn't just not do anything. And then we get to Game Pass. We know there's a Game Pass competitor in the works, and I don't know why people are calling it competitor. It's just an offering from Sony that's kind of similar. It's a service that you can subscribe to. And we know that's in the works because Jim Ryan has said so. And I'm thinking that if that is in the works, then ultimately it's a validation of the idea of subscribing to a service to play games. And then I started to think about these big, high-quality AAA games, the type of games that define the generation that you're in. Sony's had a bunch of them. PS3 games that define the generation, Uncharted 2. PS4 had Last of Us 2 that defined the generation, however you feel about that game. Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man. So they've had games that the industry validates as being the cream of the crop. And Microsoft hasn't had that for quite some time. Will a service built around getting you to subscribe spend the money to create those kind of games? And I understand they spent $7 or $8 billion to get Bethesda, but are they then going to spend $300 million to create a Last of Us 2 level of quality for Game Pass? I don't know if that's going to happen. And the argument is that doesn't need to happen. And if it doesn't, it's okay. Now, I understand that you have many more games to play in a subscription service throughout the year than you will, say, the 1 to 2 big AAA high production value games that you get from Sony. But those games have such an impact and such a sway with the industry. When they win Game of the Year, everyone sees that everywhere. It helps sell systems. So you've got to figure out a way to market Game Pass. And they're doing everything right except marketing Game Pass to the average consumer. There's literally nothing that I can see, television or in print, that really markets what Game Pass is and what you're getting for the 15 or 10 or whatever it is a month right now. And I think if they can figure that out, then that can help them combat those big Sony exclusives, because I don't think they're going to match that level of quality. But I do think, and this is where it becomes very important, I do think they need to do it at least one time. They need to have that one big game that is undeniable to everyone in the industry. Something that comes out of left field and puts them on the map artistically. And then they can have the AA or even the single A games dropping into Game Pass, because that just builds out that service in a way that, having just 1 or 2 big games a year like Sony's saying they want to do, if you have, say, 15 smaller games in between single A, double A, and then you have, say, one huge AAA game, let's say it's Perfect Dark, or let's say it's Avowed. And listen, these games could be that. So this could be happening. I'm just speaking hypothetically. If that happens, then the validation of Game Pass, which has already been validated by Sony and Jim Ryan, that just bodes even bigger. It helps Microsoft push out their brand even more. So the idea of subscription services, I'm still not a person who's in love with putting out money every month and just forgetting about it. But if they can give me great games, and they don't have to be high production, but they have to give me at least one, right? I want at least one Last of Us 2 level game made by Microsoft themselves for Game Pass. It makes everything else so much sweeter. So right now, Phil Spencer has a cigar in his mouth saying, "I love it when a plan comes together." Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.